Surface area part 4, triangular prisms. Now, the first thing I'm going to tell you is so far the surface area, you had a formula on the formula sheet. So here are all your shapes. You'll notice if you look over here, there's nothing that says rectangular prism. There's a reason why. They want you to solve this using what's called nets. I'm going to explain what those are. So first we're going to draw our shape. Just draw any right triangle. And it doesn't have to be right. I'm just starting with a right triangle. Come down and over a little bit. Try to copy the triangle you just drew. Then connect the corresponding points on the triangles. So front to front, top to top, corner to corner. Like that. Now we need some sides. So say 6 inches on this back side. 10 inches on the hypotenuse. 8 inches on the base. 20 inches on the length. So what is a net? Well, you don't have to do it this way, but this is what they're talking about. If you took the side that is formed by the hypotenuse and this top line edge and this front edge, what you would end up with would be a rectangle. And if you took those measurements, your length is 20, so this would be 20, and your, I should say, height on this, and then this side is 10. So you'd have a 10 by 20. Then right beside it, if you put this side, it would also form a rectangle. It would be exactly the same length, which is 20. But it's going to be 6 inches because that side is 6 inches. Then if you took this side, and it doesn't matter what order you do these in, just keep them in order for you. And it's 8 inches, so that one's going to be 8. Then they take these two triangles, they lay them out. We'll say like this. Because that one's got the 8-inch side, I'm going to keep that on the bottom. And then that side is going to be 6 because that side is 6. That side's automatically going to be the same length. That side right there is the same as this. So those are going to be 6 and 6. Now, you don't have to draw it exactly like this. What I do, I just roughly, because you're limited on time, I just draw a quick rectangle and say 10 by 20. And I draw another one. I say 6 by 20. Draw another one. I say 8 by 20. And then I draw two right triangles that are 6 by 8. If you want to do it that way, that's fine too. Either way, it doesn't matter. But technically, that's what's called a net because they're all touching each other. They don't have to be. You can just draw them roughly like this. Now, when you're doing surface area, it's the same thing as area. You're just finding the area of all the sides. So you have 5 sides to this shape. You've got to find all 5 sides individually, and then you have to add them all together. So let's start with the most difficult one, triangles. But you do have a formula for that. You go up here to your regular area under triangle. It's 1/2 base times height. So if we start by saying 1/2 base times height, and our triangle is 6 by 8, it's going to be 1/2 times 6 times 8. Now, you can punch all that in on the calculator, or you can do it the way I do it, which is the easy way, I think. And this only works if the first number is even, really. So I just take half of 6, and that's 3. And then I multiply 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is 24. Now don't make the mistake of just adding 24 once, because remember we've got 2 of these triangles. So you're actually going to add 24 twice. Now you just do these rectangles one at a time. So 10 by 20 is 200. I know you'll probably have to do that on the calculator. 6 by 20 is 120. And then 8 by 20 is 160. So once you have all those punched in the calculator, write all those down. So there's my 5 sides. You're just going to add them together on the calculator. So 4 and 4 is 8. 2, 4, 6, 12. 3, 4, 5. So 5, 28. And since this was in inches, and we're talking about area, surface area, still area, then it's inches squared. So there's what the whole problem looks like. So we're going to go straight to a worksheet. So like I said, they're not all right triangles. You can obviously see here, even though this guy little box here, it's not talking about just this triangle or that triangle. This is one triangle. So the base of this triangle is going to be 12, and the height is going to be 8. Whenever you don't have a right triangle, they're going to draw a dotted line that shows you how tall your triangle is. So let's just start with that. 1/2 times 12 times 8 equals. Again, you can punch that in on your calculator, or you can do half of 12, which is 6. 6 times 8 is 48. We have another triangle on the back. Notice that it doesn't show it. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. You have to assume that if there's a triangle on the front, there's going to be a triangle on the back. So that's going to be another side that's 48. So let's do this side first. So the length is 10, or the width, it doesn't matter. Width is 10, length is 14. Punch that on a calculator. 10 times 14 is 140. Now if you look over here, it doesn't show you this side that's behind the triangle. But if you use this measurement, which is 10, you know that it's the same as this. So if you know your triangles, this is an isosceles triangle. This side's the same as this side. So this measurement is always going to be the same for your 3 rectangles. So this one was 10 by 14. This one's also going to be 10 by 14. So it's going to be another 140. The bottom one is going to be different. So again, still 14, but this time it's 12. Let's see, 12 times 14 is, I think it's 168. Double check my math. Yeah, I think it's 168. So now we got to add them all together. 48 plus 48. 140, 140, 168. 3 times 8 is 24. 6, 10, 14, 18, 24. 2, 3, 4, 5. So if you'll check on your answer sheet on the back, you'll see that that's correct. 544 inches squared. Now here's another right triangle. When you have a right triangle, you don't need a dotted line because 12 is the height, 5 is the base. So we'll start with that. 1/2 times base times height. Now this is a little trick too. Notice that 5 is an odd number, so it's difficult to take half of 5. You end up with 2.5, and then that's difficult to multiply times 12. Whenever you have a line of numbers and they're all being multiplied, this does not work if any of them are being divided, added, subtracted. But if they're all being multiplied, you can actually skip numbers. So you can say half 12 is 6. 6 times 5 is 30. If you forget that, you can always punch that in on a calculator. Remember, if we have a front triangle, we have a back triangle. It's going to be the same. Now we have this side, 13 times 19. I don't feel like doing that. I'll punch it in on the calculator. 247. This side's 12, still 19. That side is 228. And then this side's 5 by 19. And that is 95. So I have my 5 sides. Now I add them together. 247, 228, 95. 15, 20, 5, 6, 7, 8, 12, 14, 23, 6. And again, if you're not good at doing these every single time again, getting them right, I would always suggest doing these on the calculator. If you have one, you might as well use it. 630, this time we're doing feet squared. So you have only one sheet this time because I didn't want to give you too much to do on this one because this can be pretty difficult. So do these one at a time. Check your answers on the back. Make sure you're getting the right answers before you move on to the next one. Do one at a time. If you didn't get it right, go back and find out what you did wrong. Check everything. If you need to, rework it. I was going to say one thing. I haven't done a video on pyramids. You'll see they're right here in the middle. These equations are so difficult just to explain that you'll probably never remember them on GED because we don't have any other equations with P, which if you want to know, it's the perimeter of the base. S we talked about in the previous video, it's slant height. We also don't have a capital B in any other equations except for pyramid. You'll see one over here, pyramid. Capital B is the area of the base. And then you got to do that over here. Plus this has got a 1/3 in it. This has got a 1/2. If you want to take time to do those on your own, look up videos and watch it, you can. But it's been my experience that you will not remember that on the test. It's very rare that pyramids even show up on the GED test. If it does, I would say if it's multiple choice, pick an answer and go. If it's fill in the blank, you're probably not going to get it right just by guessing. So that's my advice on pyramids, because you're going to spend 10-20 minutes trying to figure it out. You're going to waste all that time that you could be spending on easier questions. Always do the easiest questions first. If you have extra time, then you can go back on the questions you skipped and see if you can solve it. So that covers every 3D shape that is on the GED. That's the end of the video.